when your mother is so famous?
Every viewer has their own interpretation and imagination, but yeah, I don't think any of that is what's happening in the show. It is a conflicted relationship, that's what's beautiful about the series.
She's very art inclined, and her expression is through art. Because I've also faced a lot of like body image issues, and I was insecure. Be like, okay, this is who I am. You don't have to be this stereotypical beauty and things like that. And but
She created that space of co-actors. She created that space of discipline and work ethic. And it was never a moment of, oh, I'm Madhuri Dixit and I'll do things my way. No, it was a collaboration and constant collaboration.
We have with us Lakshveer and Muskkaan Jaferi. Their series is coming up, The Fame Game. We'll talk about that and much more. Pleasure having you guys with us on Bollywood Hungama.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
All right, so can we say that maybe this is the biggest outing for you guys till now?
Absolutely, for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
All right, so tell us your journey of playing characters who are in a way maybe subdued by the presence of their mother, who's extremely famous. So just playing such characters, what was your preparation like in a way?
I think it was just getting into the skin of the character, that when you have a certain kind of responsibility because your mother is a big Bollywood star, and whatever you do is not just whatever you do, the media is going to be there, and there's a particular image that you have to maintain and things like that. I mean, we had lots of discussions with Sri, who has written the script, and with Bajoysa and Karishma ma'am about what it must be like for these children with their own set of problems as like just teenagers, and just like having their own issues, but to deal with it when your mother is so famous, and how that would be like. I mean, what would that be like? I mean, we had a lot of discussions about that in detail, in depth.
Yeah, I think what Sri wrote, it was very comprehensive screenplay. So I think after I read the whole script, I already had so much information that was available to me in terms of understanding the relationship between the mother and the son. And also that so many of the actors, Sanjay Kapoor, Madhuri Dixit, they are from that world. So it was that was nice to have them around and just keep listening to them, all their stories in general. So you would get a sense of what it is like to be a part of their family. And the idea was to incorporate all of that and try to bring that forward.
So there is this particular moment in the series where you are having a moment with a girl and there's a song of your mother playing in the background. Can we also say that maybe the boy is having maybe issues with the Oedipus complex as well?
Look, it's when I read the script, I couldn't find anything of that sort. I mean, of course, every viewer has their own interpretation and imagination. But yeah, I don't think any of that is what's happening in the show. I mean, also the fact that what that really was, I feel, is that there are moments where in your life it's like I'm going out and doing something and I do not want to think about my mother, because probably she's one of the reasons why I'm going through something, and so it'll be best to avoid thinking about her. And that song is obviously such a reminder. And for someone like Avi, whose mother is so famous, and it's so difficult to get away from the world, from the attention. So I feel that for me, that scene was more about that.
Okay, but he wants to break out from the image of his mother in a way. He wants to be, the man, the proverbial manhood that boys gradually want to just transcend into. But still, he's emotionally vulnerable towards her.
Towards the mother.
Towards the mother, because he leans on her. Still, even though he doesn't want to, but still he does. There's a bit of a dichotomy.
It is a conflicted relationship. That's what's beautiful about the series, because there's never a clear relationship. I feel I would say the closest clear relationship that I have is with my sister. In terms of just growing up together, at least there's one person, and she's a younger sister. So there was the idea that Avi is trying to just be around her, understand what she's going through. But even there were so many secrets between us. So all the relationships in that family, it is a dysfunctional family.
It's very complex.
There's so much going on, like hide and seek. So there will be moments where I'll be like, oh yes, but I do have to talk to you about this, but I don't want to talk to you about it. So there's all, like in our lives, I mean, there are times when I need my mother around me, and there are times I really don't want to see her, but I still love her, you know, and that's life.
All right. So your character is in a way symbolizing, and maybe a lot of people will identify with that. When you have famous fathers or say mothers, famous parents, for example, and how the children, they are in awe of their parents, either of them or both of them, and at the same time they realize that maybe they will never be that good as their parents, and that element of respect, reverence, and in a way competition, it's a very unique concoction which I think your character is dealing with as well in the series. So how did you pull it off? How was the experience of bringing those complexities out?
Amara is actually a very, very, very emotional person. She's very art inclined, and you know, her expression is through art, I feel. And she's always seen her mother growing up and really has been enamored by her. And she's wanted to do this since forever, since she could remember. But because she looks at her mother and she looks different, and there is a particular stereotype that, you know, this is beautiful, this is not beautiful, and things like that. That added with this huge superstar, it makes it even more difficult for her. I feel like every teenager, even if you have a mother or a father who's in this business or not, we all face it on some level because of the portrayal of it in the media. And we all doubt ourselves in some sense, especially at that fragile age when you're a teenager, then where things can impact you so much. So it was difficult because I myself have been through things like that in my life. So it was difficult, but it was also cathartic in some sense. So I believe that that character has a lot of conflicted feelings, but at the same time, the mother is also always there for her and telling her that, no, you're beautiful, and, you know, don't worry about all these things. But she at the same time wants to be like that, and she wants to find her expression and find her ground in this world and not get lost in all of these things. So it's a very difficult journey for her, and I really, really sympathized with the character. It was tough to be there, quite honestly. In the scenes when we were performing it would, after the scenes would end, I would have to take time to just breathe a little bit.
That's interesting. Okay, so in what way did you find the similarities?
No, because I've also faced a lot of like body image issues, and I was insecure, and it took me a while to accept myself really and just be like, okay, this is who I am. You don't have to be the stereotypical beauty and things like that. And, you know, we're all beautiful in our own way. But because it was at that same fragile age, like it took me back to that place where these things really impacted me very heavily. And yeah, I mean, in my audition processes and things like that also, it came in the way quite a bit. And but I believed in myself, and here I am.
Okay, you know, so there are these comments about her weight in the series quite a few times, and obviously it can throw anyone off guard. There can be people who can have issues with that, but considering that entertainment world and the showbiz world, it is so competitive, and so many people follow it. So I think there is a certain way that that the viewers expect their stars to be. And if we see, say, from within the film industry, if we say, be it Sara Ali Khan, be it Arjun Kapoor, be it Sonakshi Sinha, there are several examples. I think, yeah, quite a few of them who had a lot of weight issues, but they worked really, really hard, and today they are completely different. So, in a way, do you feel that maybe certain comments, they may be rather unsavory at times, but maybe if you want to be in front of the camera and in that level, maybe certain things are needed.
No, presentability, I mean, that is definitely important. I mean, you are in front of a camera, you're playing a character, you need to look the part and things like that. Of course, I mean, that is involved. But I feel like at the end of the day, if there is some kind of talent that you have to offer in a particular manner, which everybody is individually gifted in different ways. And I feel like if that's something, if you have, that is just, it is what it is. I do understand, of course, we all need to be presentable. I mean, we are presentable right now. I mean, we need to do that for sure.
You both of you are looking.
Thank you. But I do believe that there is much more than that to offer, and that inclusivity is happening right now, because as a young child, as a young girl, when you look at movies and things like that, and you always feel that that's how somebody looks, who's pretty looks like that, like, and you know, things like that, and you feel like an outsider, and that's what Amara feels like, and that's why I relate to her character so much. And it's changing now. I mean, we all look different. Presentability, yes, but we all have different faces, features, bodies, and things like that, and it's talent at the end of the day, I also feel. Yeah.
All right, so so both of you, how was the experience of spending time with Madhuri Dixit, the Madhuri Dixit?
I- Look, I think at some point you have to just, you know, stop and say that you're here to work as an actor, and there's a job at hand, and that should be priority. I absolutely loved working with her. There was no doubt about that. And also that she created that space of co-actors. She created that space of discipline and work ethic. And it was never a moment of, oh, I'm Madhuri Dixit and I'll do things my way. No, it was a collaboration and constant collaboration. She was always there to give cues. She was always there to give certain advices to help you out in certain scenes. And it was like I was just working with a very competent co-actor. And I really appreciate her for being able to create that space. And I really respect her for that. And for that matter, even Sanjay Kapoor and everyone else, Man of Call, whoever's there in the show, I feel that as young artists and actors, everyone made us feel very comfortable, and I don't think we ever felt as, oh, हम तो नए हैं, ये लोग तो काफ़ी टाइम से कर रहे हैं, तो कुछ अलग तो होना ही है, पर कुछ अलग नहीं हुआ. आप अभी भी देख सकते हैं, हम यहाँ बैठे हैं, we are part of the show, the promotion and everything. I feel that all we were was a family, and it was really an amazing experience.
What about you?
Yeah, I believe since day one, actually, just the first time that I met ma'am and we had our table read, and I very vividly remember I just looked at her and I couldn't believe my eyes that she's right there. She's just standing there. I took a couple of moments, I took a few deep breaths, and then it was all okay. I mean, that was just that moment. It felt like, oh, ma'am is here. But when we started doing the reads, she was just like family. She's just such an excellent and warm human being. She instantly made us feel at ease. Even Sanjay sir, Suhasini ma'am, everybody, we all instantly felt like a family. And I don't know, it's just magic in some sense. The cast really came together as a family, even off screen. Yeah.
I think what I've understood about stars, just the only star that I've worked with is Madhuri Dixit, and what I've understood is that they create an environment and they're in charge of it, and it's up to them how they make that environment, and it was her that made this environment of really it being about the story, the series, and what was written on the paper. So
Yeah.
I think kudos to her for being able to do that.
Because she said
And we
that
just like went with it. We were just part of that world.
you remember, she would always say that you're going to play my children. Like, she said that we need to be able to just relax with each other. Otherwise, because I still remember there was this one moment we were having the photo shoot and I sort of hit her hair and accidentally hit her hair. And I was like, oh no, I hit her hair. And she just said, no, please relax. So like, she always wanted that we're going to be mother, daughter, we're going to be a part of a family. You need to just be with us, just be, so that we can do complex, difficult scenes as well as just exist around each other. And she made that easy for us since day one. Yeah.
Okay, so so you said about earlier, you said about the entire concept of why I think talent is something which is maybe more important than almost anything else. So you know, we are living at a time when these age-old notions about how a star looks like, you know, and because so we have these stereotypes in a way that he or she is star, he or she is a character artist, he or she is a villain, that ways. But now that is blurring because of the entire OTT wave that we are experiencing, and it is all about the actor that takes over, and the character is something that people take with them and talk about it. So both of you, if you just look at the way things are, and do you think that maybe it is the best time for actors who are not going to be slaughtered because of the way they look or the way they are? It is just their performance, that if it is there, then rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, I
And as it
absolutely
should be
agree.
also, because
I think let's take one by one.
yeah.
We'll start with you, because I think since you were saying earlier, we'll start with
You're like, why is she not talking? No, I mean, I absolutely agree with what you are saying, that it is a time for all of us to just act. Like, everybody is really enthusiastic. The audiences are also changing. People want real stories, gripping stories, and be it a famous person or a non-famous person, it's the stories that are also evolving. It's the filmmaking that is evolving. Everything is evolving, and the audience is evolving. So I feel like OTT really gives us a platform to delve into different kind of characters and take more challenges, basically, I feel. That's what I believe.
So, for example, when the fame game is coming, for example, so as actors, you don't have that pressure that you have to give certain numbers on the weekend, on that Friday. Like on the first show itself, there will be people who will be talking about that, whether you have a future or whether you don't have a future, whether you have that pull to just make people buy the tickets on the ticket counter or not, because that is how things are judged mostly. Here, you don't have that pressure. You know that no matter what, this is going to go to 199 countries, 200 countries. At least a sizable audience you will get on the first day itself. If the show is good, then the popularity takes over, and it can go anywhere. It can be like, say, we've seen Minnal Murali trending in 30 countries. Like, it's insane, absolutely. And that too, for a Malayalam film to do that, it's absolutely insane. Family Man, for example, doing the way it has done, it is absolutely insane.
I mean, insane, but I also think it's very beautiful that that's happening.
It is beautiful, but in a way, it is taking off the pressure.
Personally, I haven't been working for so long to really understand what is that pressure, what is not that, in that. I cannot be sitting here thinking about the result too early, because for me, it is a director's medium. The first objective is to understand what the director wants, then is to fulfill that as an actor. And it's about playing the character, and all I know is what I've learned, what I've trained for is acting. I haven't trained for business. I haven't trained for the idea of numbers that you're talking about. So maybe that's why I'm working in a Netflix series rather than anything else, because this does feel like what I would want to do, So for me, I wouldn't want to, even if it were a film and it had a release, I wouldn't be thinking, I've done a film before, I wouldn't be thinking about the numbers, because at the end of the day, it's about my craft, and I'm very secure about that. And as long as I have that with me, I know I'll keep working, and I'll live and I'll survive. So I don't really worry about that.
All right, but basically, I think the way the story of the show is, and we've seen it in the past, that producers, they've sold their houses, all sorts of things have happened for making films, and in terms of and how it goes. So that box office factor is extremely crucial when it comes to the big screen.
For producers, it is because it is business for them.
Even for actors, it is.
I'm sure. I mean, as I said, I'm very young to understand that whole business, and I cannot be commenting upon it without being a part of it. So once, maybe, if I do get a big budget kind of a film which has a Friday release and there's all of that, then maybe I'll be able to answer that better and understand what that it is. Like, in terms of even filling up a certain a gap in terms of, say, okay, the craft is there, all of that is there, but there's another side to being an actor and all of that. I'll learn and I'll see what that is. And maybe in time, I'll be able to answer this question much better.
All right. So Muskkaan and Lakshmir, pleasure having you guys with us on Bollywood Hungama. All the best wishes for the Fame game and for your future ventures. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.